Gina. Welcome to the Library Mouse and welcome to a bookish vacation. I'm going with my girlfriends and we rented a house on one of the Finger Lakes, and I plan to do a whole lot of nothing. It's kind of a staycation because it's not super far away. I have books to read. I want to talk about what I have been reading, what I finished, and I probably won't have a lot of alone time, but I will be in the car. So we'll talk about books probably when I'm in the car or if I happen to come back home for something, but let's go. Some of us went kayaking. That was not me. I'm a little afraid of water, and it was a little bit too deep for my liking, but everybody else thought it was a really good time. We did do a little trip into town to the creamery. You can see the cheese caves here and the map where many cheese factories were located. They now use this space besides making cheese. They also rent it out for dances, proms, and different events. You can see in my hand I also picked up my favorite treat, sponge candies, although I have to say this did not hit the mark with me. All right, I'm in my car and I have not filmed a lot. I have been very remiss about filming. Went shopping, left my phone in the car, but I had to come home because I didn't have anyone to watch Hattie. But she is allowed at the lake house, not for the entire time. My friend is highly allergic to dogs, so we're going to try it tonight and see how she does. But I got Hattie here with me, and I did go to the bookstore. Let me share with you the book that I got before we go anywhere. I got this book, Before the Swallows Come Back. It's written by Fiona Curnow, and it says perfect for lovers of Where the Crawdads Sing. It says Tommy struggles with people, like communicating with them, and he prefers solitude in nature, and he is protected by his tinker family who keep to the old ways. And then he meets this girl named Charlotte by the riverside, and they develop into friends. And then something happens. Tragedy strikes each family and they are torn apart, and Charlotte is sent away, and Tommy might have done something very bad. It sounds really, really good. So we're going to try that. I have been really reading quite a bit in August. It's still the beginning, not quite the second week of August. And the first book that I finished, I think it was the first book that I finished. I read The Calamity Club by Catherine, I think it's Stockett. It's the same author as The Help. And this book, I think it's like 600, over 600 pages. It was so good. Like, I really had a hard time putting it down. It was that good. And it follows the lives of a girl and 2 women. One is a girl named Birdie. Comes from a poor family. She is sent to see her sister, who married into a very wealthy family, and the family is sending Birdie to ask her for money. It takes place during the Great Depression, and she reluctantly goes. And when she gets there, she finds out all is not as it seems, or what her sister has been writing to them. We also meet a young girl named Meg. Meg is an 11-year-old who is in the orphanage. And the orphanage is where Birdie's sister Frances volunteers, and where actually Birdie winds up volunteering to do the books for the orphanage. And that is how she meets Meg. And the woman who runs the orphanage is a very, very horrible person who really, really hates Meg. Sorry, my camera is very wobbly because my camera holder is very wobbly for some reason. There's lots of potholes in New York. And Meg is treated very badly there. And then we have a woman named Charlie. And Charlie is Meg's real mother. And all along, the person who runs the orphanage has made it seem that Meg's mother just left her, but in reality, that is not what happened. And I won't give away any spoilers, but Charlie and Birdie get together and come up with a very risque plan to raise money first for her sister Frances, so she doesn't lose her house due to the mortgage coming due, and also for Charlie to raise money to get Meg out of the clutches of the orphanage lady, madam, mistress, whatever, Meg, person who runs it. It's such a good book with a very good ending. It had a nice happy ending, but a believable ending. I don't want just a happy ending that doesn't seem real. So I read that, and then I read the Foursome. I will have to go back and look and see what the Foursome was about, or who the author was. But the Foursome is written from the point of view of one of the sisters who married one of the conjoined twins, who the coin Siamese twins was named after. It was Eng and Chang Bunker in the 1860s. And they came to the United States and they became successful businessmen. And they each married one sister. I think it was the Yates sisters. One was, Abby and Mama Sarah. And it was very interesting. The author is like a very distant relative of the women. And, you often think, what would it be like to be married to someone who cannot leave their brother's side? Like, you would never have privacy. You would never be alone. And she always had lived in the shadow of this sister anyway. And then to have to share a house their brother, who is your sister's husband. It was extremely interesting. I thought very well written. It was another book that I just kept reading. Like, I couldn't stop reading it. So they were great. Right now I'm reading 5-Star Weekend. So after 2 very literary style books, we're reading an Ellen Hildebrand. Ellen Hildebrand has always been one of my favorite fluffy authors. She writes a lot of, most of her books take place on Nantucket, and I have quite a number of them myself. I always know that I'm gonna have a good story when I read Ellen Hildebrand, and this one so far is no exception. But I'm watching at the same time the show on Peacock, 5-Star Weekend, with Jennifer Garner. That is also very, very good. So, if nothing else, this little very relaxing trip to the lake, where we do nothing but eat, sleep, talk, read, and sit around, it has been perfect to just chill and read and not feel guilty. I did go home last night because I didn't have anyone to watch Hattie, and it felt good to do some chores too because I was getting a little bit antsy. So we're off to the lake. We'll see how she does. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But she'll do better than being at home. So off we go. I loved waking up and seeing this guy in the front yard. I'm not sure if it was a crane or a heron, but just a beautiful, beautiful bird. You can see where I got so much reading done on this vacation. This is where I sat most of the time reading and relaxing. You can see across the lake there are so many cute little cottages. There's a glamping campground. There's a Wounded Warriors camp and the dairy farms in the distance. It's just a beautiful, beautiful area. Well, I'm back, familiar surroundings, and I had a great week at the lake. It was probably the most chill vacation I have ever been on. I walked around with no makeup and my hair not done for pretty much the entire time that I was there. We sat and we ate and we talked and we talked and we ate and we sat. That was about it. The television didn't come on the entire time. We didn't watch movies. We played a couple games. We went and heard a band and got ice cream at this like little outdoor place. They have putt-putt and pizza, and they have a little outdoor stage, and there was a band. We did a little walking tour and stopped in at a bookstore and a gift shop and the creamery, which is where they make cheese, which is earlier in the video. And that was about it.
But it was super, super relaxing. I got a lot of reading done. A lot. I finished Calamity Club. I finished the Foursome. And I'm currently reading um, Five Star Weekend and Parable of the Sower. And you cannot get two more opposite genres than Octavia, oh my gosh, Octavia Butler and Ellen Hildebrand. So that is what I'm currently reading. I do have a YA book downloaded for YAugust. I need to look at my Kindle and see what it is because I can't remember. I did at the beginning of the month and I haven't read it yet. But I thought I would share that. I have really, really fallen by the wayside on my own challenge of reading a Newbery every month. I have not done that. I've just been happy to get some reading done. And I feel like I'm back on track now with my reading. I found some really, really good books. And you know where I got the recommendations was from, I believe it was a Real Simple magazine. Every month they have book recommendations. And that was where I got the Foursome. I'm still waiting for a couple others to come in. It was very, very, very good. And I loved Calamity Club. Catherine Stockett, she wrote The Help also. So yeah, I've just had a really good reading month, and I'm enjoying the books that I have too. So anyway, I'll wrap this up tomorrow. I want to talk a little bit more about the YA book that I got. Okay, before I move on, I promised that I would share the YA novel that I downloaded. I believe it was either a BookBub free or an Amazon free read, but it's Pescadero. I have no internet at the moment. It's a novel by Hollis Brady, and basically it follows the story of this young girl named Hildy who moves to a California coastal town and begins like an unlikely friendship with an undocumented worker. And she gets herself into a dangerous situation. So it sounds like it will be a very good book, maybe a little hard, but this is what I'm reading for YAugust. I have never read anything by Hollis Brady before, but I'm looking forward to it. So right now I'm finishing, I have 5 Star Weekend, and I am also picking up Parable of the Sower. I kind of go back and forth between them since one is so heavy and one is so light. And then I'm going to throw this one in the mix, but it sounds really good. Well, as I was sitting here making this video, I realized I never said a formal goodbye. So if you have made it this far, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the book reviews. If you've read any of them, let me know. I'd love to hear your take on any of the books I mentioned. And I will see you in the next video. Happy reading!